I love how the dog call's been had and everyone's trying to get as much as they can before the bill is due.
Yes.
That's what I think is going on, and it's not like it happened like, hey, right now. It's more like, hey, slowly.
It's a slow boil.
Yeah.
How do you eat a frog? You don't just throw it into boiling pot. It'll jump right out. You just slowly bake that thing. Slowly bake it up. Welcome to this week's episode of the Weird Podcast, or the Toast of the Weird, whatever the hell we call it.
Monkey Man. That movie was fucking great.
Monkey Man. Oh, I thought you were going to call me a monkey man.
Monkey Man, it was really good, dude. They did a really good job with it.
Is that the one where the guy wears a monkey mask and he's a fighter?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like Indian John Wick, basically.
Was it based on a true story?
It's based on... I don't think it's based on a true story, no.
Okay.
No.
So it's just fictitious?
I mean, it's like John Wick, and that's not true. It's just a nice story. This kid had troubled, childhood, and,
Yeah.
chief of police came in and killed his mom and whatever, and he fucking came up through the scums and whatever and got a job at the place, and basically it was like tried to kill the motherfucker, and it was really good. They had some transsexual stuff in there. They had the society talking about transsex people, and then he ends up getting saved by a group of them. And forgive me, I cannot remember the deity. Forgive me, folks, but there's a deity in the religion that's actually half man, half woman.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And they're sitting there talking in the temple about it, and he gets revived and he heals, and these these folks, they don't say their past or whatever, but they just talk about how they used to be warriors and stuff, and at the end they actually come help him. There's like 5 of them all dressed up and shit, and they come in and they are badasses themselves. They fuck up a bunch of shit. So he trains with them, and there's this one guy playing drums and shit. And then he basically teaches them the tempo of fighting, because he's just in there going crazy, and the guy's womp womp, jab, punch, jab, jab. It was really cool. They did a really good job with it.
Ardhavanashavara.
There you go.
I just butchered it.
Yeah.
But I had to look it up, because that's really interesting. A religion that has a half man, half woman deity.
Yeah, half destroyer, half creator, half man, half woman. Both, but neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. There's a lot of religions who have...
Yeah, what is the Google is depicted as a half male, half female entity split down the middle. The right half is usually the male Shiva, illustrating his traditional attributes. What about the female? Is that the creator? If the male's a destroyer, then the female be the creator? I'm looking it up. That's bad, but I'm looking it up.
It's all good.
Represents the synthesis of masculine and feminine energies of the universe. Prusha, Prakriti, pardon my pronunciation. And it illustrates how Shakti, the female principle of God, is inseparable from or the same as, according to some interpretations, Shiva, the male principle of God, and vice versa. The union of these two principles is exalted in the root and the womb of all creation. Another view is that Ardhaveshvara is a symbol of Shiva's all-pervasive nature. So it doesn't go into that. But if male is destruction and they're supposed to be opposite entities in one, then female would be creation, right?
In the sense of birth and death, yeah. Which is something else I heard this guy talked about, which is really interesting. We always hear and we believe women are the givers of life, right? That's a phrase we hear.
Hold on, we got a blip. All right, back to recording at 4 minutes and 3 seconds.
What were we talking about?
Ardhaveshvara, the masculine and feminine energy. You were saying, isn't it funny how the society takes the feminine energy, something like that?
Okay, so yeah, this guy brings up about how women are the givers of life, we always think, right? And that's the phrase we hear. Mm-hmm. And he's like, men are the givers of life, women are the bringers of life. And I was like, that's interesting. And he brought this up as an example. He's like, can one woman repopulate mankind with an island with 100 men? No.
No.
She could only have one baby every 9 months, basically a year, and by the time she had 4 or 5 kids, she would be dead. Can one man repopulate humanity with an island of 100 women?
Well,
yes.
Yeah.
That man could have sex 3-4 times a day easily for the rest of his fucking life until he dies and his sperm is potent and all that. I was like, that's fucking crazy. It's like he could have the whole island pregnant in 3 years. I was like, that is realistic. Holy shit.
Yeah, but then society would be full of a bunch
But
of
you don't get what the point
inbred.
is, though, right? You
Yeah,
see the
I get
point,
it.
Like,
It's
that's interesting. I was like, that's wow.
It's the lock and key argument. Like, what's more impressive? A key that can open up many locks or a lock that can open up to any key? You've heard that analogy, right?
Yeah, or the key in the lock. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, that's just interesting the way that you think about actual life, giving life, bringing forth life. I was like, that's true. Like, as much as much as you don't want to think about it, or it would be immoral or whatever. But like, yeah, a man could get 100 women pregnant much more easier than a woman could get pregnant by 100 men.
This is true. And how many diseases would that one man spread to those 100 women?
Again, like the diseases and lineage and all that stuff aside, all of that aside, that is an extreme point you cannot dismiss. That's all. And I was like, that's interesting.
It's a good point, but it's like Swiss cheese. It's really good. It's got some foundation, but ultimately I could poke a lot of holes in it.
It wasn't infallible. It was just the fact that, we give so much credit to women for life and we give no credit to men is what it is.
No, well, I think that's why the whole masculine religions came across the way, because men are, and historically have been, the more physical strong of the species, rather than, a woman who's more mentally tough.
We go back far enough, honestly. I think almost all of the ancient civilizations at a certain point had the dichotomy of the dual leader, the spiritual leader, and then you had the head of the warriors. And when those decisions were made, like, you can't have a spiritual leader making wartime decisions, because that's not, and it's the opposite version. You can't have someone who's war or protective orientated be thinking about spiritual matters.
That's true.
I think that's where we fuck shit up, is we're just like, no, everyone has to listen to this one person, or those two fought and they couldn't decide, or what the fuck ever, and something happened. I think that's the best, is when you have that tool, that couple almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the 3 pillars of control, realistically.
What?
The physical threat, the emotional threat, and then the
Societal threat.
Societal threat, the financial, all that kind of stuff too. So
Or you're not
that's
getting
2
along
of
with the
3.
tribe.
Yeah, you're not getting along with the tribe. You're not. I don't know where I'm going. I don't have any on it supplements.
It's a small cast, and we're going little, and it's been a week. A lot of stuff. It depends on what's going on, and
There we go. All right. And it's earlier than normal for us too. Usually I've got some brain calculations that I've done before we get to recording.
True. It does feel a little different this earlier.
I like
Which is
it.
crazy. Oh, it's good that that we upload information like at a certain time. I can't remember. I think it was like 2 a.m. or some shit. And again, the best time for humans to be productive is between 10 and 2. 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.
Really?
Yeah. And like, we only work like super well for like 4 hours at a time, and other than that, like our actual focus is shit. Or like, I was like, I can't remember the whole thing around that, but they just talk about, again, the prep before that. You have like this time, and after that, your productivity literally just
Yeah, your
wastes
daily
downhill.
dump goes down.
Yeah.
Because we're not built to be productive 24/7, despite what the capitalistic society wants us to do.
Every time I look at my job and I think about something and everything, like looking back on shit, like it is absolutely how terrible we are treated as base level people in the society. Like literally, like let's take a step back. How one person with one income could provide for the entire family and children and college and a house and all this stuff, and have extra money and all this and vacations. And now literally 3-4 fucking people live in a goddamn single fucking, it's ridiculous.
It is disgusting. It really is. And everybody's expecting you to be invested in the stock market. I think that, or like have some kind of passive income going on, whatever your chosen passive income is, on top of your job. So you have to have 4 or 5 sources of income as an individual to provide for your family. But not only that, your partner has to have 4 or 5 different sources of income to provide for their family.
Yeah.
That's where you got to get weird, and you got to be able to control your own destiny that way and do your own research. You got your crypto, the stock market, maybe some real estate income or something like that. But
small business opportunity, just basically taking your reliance on someone else for one specific source of survival, fanning it out, or having multiple ones. But yeah, so like that is now the entrepreneurship, or just the fact that like that's. I love how everything eventually gets co-opted and sold to us. You know that?
Yeah.
Like everything. Even they're like, hey, you know what? Damn the machine. Fuck capitalism. Buy the T-shirt.
Yeah.
You know, like
exactly.
everything eventually gets sold back to you.
That's the ongoing joke with us in this podcast. For me, man, we're out here like, you know, damn the capitalistic society, blah, 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 blah. But if you want to sponsor this podcast, we will gladly, naturally promote you on its supplements and Gemworld, right?
Oh, yeah, yes, Gemworld.
Yeah, there you go. Also, Spotify is the greatest.
Greatest.
Was the greatest.
What?
In June, they're going to stop being the greatest because they're just not going to produce they're not going to have the tools available to us anymore. You know what I'm saying?
That's the shitty part about it is the idea, the functioning, the form of capitalism is really actually great. The problem is you go too far into any system where the control, the resources are funneled to too few people. That's the fucking problem.
Yep.
There's like no real problem with anarchy or communism or socialism or capitalism. It's the fact that you take the shittiest parts of it and magnify it out to the point where people are getting fucked by each other.
I really think that anarchy is too much of a responsibility for humankind to be able to use as the system of societal, you know?
Yeah.
Because there are nut jobs in every ism, and that just like avails itself, you know? You got Ted Bundy going around murdering all these kids. Eventually, yeah, the mob is going to get Ted Bundy real quick, and there isn't going to be any like courts or due process or 20 years of sitting on death row. Like straight up, some scorned dad is just gonna go pop pop.
Fuck, that reminds me of some shit in the 80s. It's just like, it's a famous thing where this guy like kills the fucking dude who like raped his son or something.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
He's at the payphone, right? And then turns around and just, boom!
Just comes out and goes blam blam. He actually, I think he did 20 years. No?
If I remember correctly, and this is the shitty thing about society nowadays, that happened, a jury of his peers acquitted him. At the time, I believe a jury of his peers acquitted that motherfucker. They're like, nope.
Yep. All right.
Fuck that. Yeah, because like temporary, or whatever the hell like he claimed or some shit. They're like,
temporary
he fucking shot the guy that fucking, whatever, his child. Fuck that. Nowadays, they're like, oh, well, he's going to go to jail too. No. I think that should be an option, honestly. They'd be like, you know what, someone hurt one of your family members. Anyone want to get up here and fucking press the button? You guys want to blow his brains out?
Yeah, right?
Right? Like, yeah, absolutely. I think they actually let people do that, or...
Oh, yeah, this is why that's the whole reason why I would move to Texas. That's the only reason why I would move to Texas.
Is that the place with the guy, that guy with the antler or whatever?
No, that's the guy where some dude was raping his daughter.
Yeah.
And he caught them in the act, and the guy literally beat him to death with his own bare hands. I'm like, I could get down with that.
Yeah.
I know those emotions. You have that protective instinct as a father for your children, and you see something like that going on. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that.
I would hand the man a fucking towel, help him wipe his hands.
Right? Yeah, I think the sheriff who was called to the scene showed up and went, well, that's a wrap.
Did you need a beer, Bob?
Yeah. What happened? Oh, I caught him.
Justice served. That's what.
I caught this grown-ass man raping my 8-year-old daughter, so I beat him to death with my hands. Arrest me. Nope.
Awesome. Did you want a porterhouse or a T-bone? Come back.
What were you grilling?
Come back.
That smells real good.
Sir. Yeah.
Right.
Hold on.
Here's a piece of paper that says you have to show up to court on this day. I'm not going to be there.
No. Did you want your left or right side on the front of the Wheaties box, sir? Seriously, that's the kind of hero shit we should be promoting. So this way, if you're thinking about raping someone's kid, they're like, you know what? I don't want to be the guy that gets fucking killed by some...
Let's just put him back... Yeah, let's just put him back in Gen Pop. Just, there you go. What'd you do? I diddled the kid. Oh, yeah, Gen Pop. Sorry.
No, not even that. Why waste all of that? Like, why go through all of that? Like,
I mean, if they get arrested by the authorities and due process and all that blah, 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 blah stuff goes down, by all means, sure.
You know, and people getting accused of shit that didn't happen, and like there's always that crazy, side of all that stuff. And,
Yeah.
it's too much to whip through everything. But
Yeah,
I absolutely
that's
think
what I'm talking about. Due
letting someone
process,
sit
Gen
in
Pop.
jail
There you
for
go.
20 fucking years while we make money off them as a human being. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, folks, did you know that you could take someone's correctional number and plug it into a program, and it's actually a stock ticker number or a stock number?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because the way they're private companies, right?
Yeah. A lot of them.
The way that they are based upon how valuable a company is how full their prison is.
Yep.
So why the fuck would they want anyone to leave?
Well, the prison guard unions are some of the biggest anti-cannabis laws out there because they want people in jail so that way they have jobs. And to me, there's plenty of stuff going on. Look at California, for crying out loud. Look at New York.
You seen the shit about Philadelphia?
No.
That's some of the biggest epicenter, apparently, of the crap that's going on. Like the whole new drug called Trank or whatever, fentanyl and tranquilizer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, like you thought this, like the bent over, like slump zombie, whatever. These guys are out there like straight the fuck up, freaking out zombies.
Man, why can't these people do crocodile so that way the drug just tears them apart? I want to see some of that, man.
Crocodile, what?
Yeah, there was a big drug in Russia where people's like flesh would literally fall off of them. Yeah, it's gnarly, but like natural consequences.
The guy was talking about that, some sort of flesh-eating fucking thing that's going on now or whatever.
Yep.
Fuck me.
Yep. Where, like, these dudes would get hooked on this drug and their body parts would just fall off and you could see bone and all that stuff and it wouldn't be bleeding, it'd just be not there anymore.
Wow.
I don't know how much of that is going to be able to be broadcast on it, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So Trank, huh?
I don't care what anyone says. Like, it's been proven before that, like, our government was part of the, like, was the fucking purveyor of the crack epidemic. Like, goddamn, you know that the big governments, everyone's talking about, oh, well, all this fentanyl is being made by China. I'm like, well, who do you think lets it in the fucking countries? Like,
well, that's actually been proven with the whole, what was that guy? That he was like a big time crack dealer that was literally
Rick
working
Ross.
for the, was it Rick Ross?
So
who was working for the
there's
CIA?
the rapper Rick Ross who stole the persona of the real drug dealer named Rick Ross.
All right.
Yeah. And he tried to sue him and shit over it. Yeah.
They let this dude just go, and he was literally working for the CIA, which is how he got away with everything.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, politicians.
Tell me that to this day, the government isn't like, I mean, we could slang some dope and get some money. You know that's going on an industrial scale, too.
I kind of think of it, honestly, like one of the sim video games that I play.
Okay.
Like all the games, like the things you do to control your populace or whatever, like in the one game, Frostpunk, where you literally give them beer. You can put sawdust in the soup to make it more like, there's all kinds of crazy shit you can do to like change the moods of people.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One of those things like, do you want to introduce crack cocaine in your society? Yeah, I'll make some money off of it. And like, absolutely. There's absolutely shit that fucking happens at a huge level because I believe in their minds, it's just letting the trash take care of themselves. If you're dumb enough and if you're weak enough to get wrapped up in a life like that, you're fucking worthless and we don't want you around.
I don't know about that, but I mean, seriously, think about it on a massive puppet scale. What else do? You diminish your education system to increase the drug use due to the poverty and lack of things to do and all that stuff. So you get all this money starting to funnel through the drug system. Anyway, it's maddening. Like, if you keep your population stupid and docile, then there you go. You've got ultimate control, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. And anyone who raises themselves up out of the muck, they are to be praised, and that's what it is like. And anyone who gets above that, they get that mindset, and now I'm better than everyone else because I was able to fucking pull myself out of this stuff. And then you are joined in that elite class, and then your family now gets to fucking have those privileges. So why the fuck would you want to change anything? You just made it now. Fuck everyone else.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I think, I could go on. We don't have enough time today for that, but yes, I think that once you get to a certain level, there's a backdoor conversation that you have with someone and you change your whole attitude towards life. Like, Republicans are the greatest. Let's go. Democrats are the greatest. Let's go. Let's give money to both of them. You
got to keep the game playing if you want to stay in it.
Exactly. Gosh, that's a positive note to end on. I love America.
Self-improvement over self-destruction.
Yup. Yeah, but that's literally the difference between poverty, like hopeless poverty, and absolute quote unquote success, education. That's the difference right there. And it's not necessarily going to an indoctrinational establishment to get educated. Because, I mean, you could go to the Catholic Church and get educated by the Bible. And that's great for your spiritual awareness, for your afterlife. That's awesome. If that's what you want, to get a roof, 3 meals over your head.
Hey, you know who else offers the same thing? Prison.
Prison does offer that
Like
very
it's the
same
exact
thing.
same. You can study the Bible, have a roof over your head, and 3 meals a day.
There are literally elderly people that are like, what kind of a crime could I commit to get basically free assisted living?
Really? Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You've never heard, like, there's old men who will go and rob convenience stores with a gun to get armed robbery charges.
25 to life.
There you go. And no death penalty either, right? Because they didn't kill anybody. They're just like, give me all your money. What's that worth? Like $20? I don't know what, like, gas stations keep in the drawers these days. But when I was a gas station clerk, it was $40. I could keep $40 in my drawer.
In our peak time, it's 150. When it goes after 11, it's $50 or less.
Yeah. Like,
Or 75, 75. Yeah.
to that old man, what's that $50? He doesn't give a shit about the $50. He wants the free 3 meals a day, the free room, the free health care that prison provides. Because whatever
Living out
lot
here
he
is
had in
so
life,
fucking-
he made a mistake, and now he can't take care of himself.
Or
And
not
I
even
say
that,
he
honestly.
because
You just play the game the way you're supposed to, you still get fucked. Like, you know, most people, like, actually, the way you describe that just reminds me of the first time I saw, like, an 80-year-old greeter at Walmart. I'm like, this poor fucking person is working.
Yep.
And they should be at home reading a book until they pass out or fucking fishing by a river or something. But
the society is judged based on how they take care of their sick and their elderly. And if our elderly are at the Walmart saying, "Hi, welcome in," like, and that's the only option for them, there's a huge, huge problem. This is a comedy podcast. We just got super serious. Anyway, we'll see you next week because we gotta go.
actually, speaking on that real fast, you know why the wolf is called the sacred son?
Why the wolf is called the sacred son? I've never even heard that.
Apparently, if you find a wolf den, all the wolves that are in the den are elderly wolves that can't hunt anymore, and their children provide for them and bring them food. They take care of their elderly when they get old. It's the only species that's known to do that.
No kidding.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
Well, I know the wolf packs have like the weakest members up front leading, so that way they can set the pace for the rest of the tribe and what have you.
It's crazy, yeah. The
And
way they
then-
talk about the alpha male, it's not a leadership position, it's more of a responsibility role.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense to me, personally. But anyway, we gotta get rolling.
Stay weird, motherfuckers.
Stay weird.